In the deepest trenches of the cosmos, something far more unsettling than a black hole may be waiting for us. Black holes crush matter and swallow light, but gravastars may do something far worse. They could unravel the very laws that hold the universe together. These hypothetical entities imprison the mass of millions of suns inside an impossibly thin shell of exotic material, substance that, according to known physics, should never exist. Today, we descend into the most disturbing realms of theoretical astrophysics. You'll witness dying stars that collapse into cosmic time bombs, explore hollow interiors where time may reverse its flow, and confront the idea that these silent predators might already be hiding in plain sight. If you're ready to question the foundations of reality itself, make sure to like and subscribe. Prepare yourselves. Our descent into the abyss begins now. Black holes form an event horizon, a boundary from which nothing returns. But gravastars replace this with something far more ominous, a shell of exotic matter perched exactly where an event horizon should be. Imagine a soap bubble, only its surface is made from a material with negative pressure, something that pushes outward instead of pulling inward. Inside this fragile yet indestructible barrier, gravity attempts to collapse the entire structure, while quantum mechanics fights back with equal strength. The result is a cosmic stalemate, a perfect prison that traps everything, including the laws of physics themselves. Where a black hole funnels matter into a singularity, a gravastar suspends all incoming energy in a hollow void where space-time itself becomes distorted. Think of the difference as a ravenous mouth versus a chamber that locks infinite energy in frozen limbo. Physicists believe this exotic shell may be thinner than a single atom, yet strong enough to withstand the gravitational pull of entire star clusters. Its structure resembles a Bose-Einstein condensate, where matter stops behaving like particles and starts acting like waves, spreading across the shell in a single, unified quantum state. But here's where the nightmare sharpens. Time inside a gravastar may not flow forward at all. In some models, it slows to a crawl. In others, it reverses. In the most extreme versions, time inside the shell completely ceases. Anything that falls toward the shell becomes trapped in a timeless pocket of space-time, unable to decay, unable to escape, unable even to experience the passage of time. Unlike black holes, gravastars do not evaporate. No Hawking radiation, no gradual fading. They could remain intact for trillions of years, cosmic scars that never heal. Worse still, from the outside, a gravastar is indistinguishable from a black hole. Every black hole we've identified in our galaxy could secretly be one of these hollow cosmic prisons, hiding physics-breaking horrors behind their perfect disguise. The shell itself may pulse with quantum tremors, bursts of energy more powerful than anything a star can release. These pulses ripple outward, causing gravitational disturbances that shake space-time itself. Now, let's plunge deeper into the exotic matter making these impossible structures possible. The outer shell of a gravastar is composed of material that violates every traditional rule of physics. Normal matter curves space-time inward. Exotic matter curves space-time outward, creating a pressure that counteracts gravity in a perfect cosmic tug-of-war. This strange substance exists in a false vacuum, a delicate quantum balance, like a pencil standing upright on its tip. Mathematically stable, physically absurd, and catastrophically sensitive. The shell's thickness may be as small as the Planck length, the smallest scale in the universe. If an atom were the size of Earth, a Planck-length barrier would be smaller than a pebble. Yet this microscopic layer could contain more mass than dozens of entire star systems. These particles might exist in negative energy states, producing gravitational repulsion stronger than the forces that power nuclear fusion. When normal matter approaches the shell, these negative energy particles push back with catastrophic intensity, preventing collapse. And this bizarre surface is never still. It flickers with quantum fluctuations happening trillions of times every second. Each fluctuation sends gravitational waves pulsing outward, not gentle ripples, but seismic shocks through the fabric of existence itself.
These quantum pulses aren't harmless tremors. They carry enough energy to vaporize planets, tear apart molecular bonds, and unravel matter down to its most fundamental components. But there is something even more unnerving. This exotic matter might behave like a cosmic infection. Some theoretical models predict that if two gravastars drift close enough, their exotic shells could interact and trigger a runaway chain reaction. The shells could merge, destabilize, and swell outward, consuming both original structures and whatever unfortunate objects lie nearby. In effect, two gravastars could fuse into an even larger one, creating a cosmic predator capable of devouring entire regions of space. The physics governing these shells introduces a phenomenon known as a quantum firewall. Anything crossing the shell, information, particles, even light, becomes scrambled beyond recognition. Not destroyed, erased, lost completely from the universe's informational ledger. To the laws of physics, it is as if the object never existed. The shell itself roils with virtual particles flickering in and out of existence, a quantum foam of unimaginable intensity. These fluctuations generate temperatures hotter than the cores of the largest stars ever born. Yet none of that heat escapes. It becomes trapped, locked inside the exotic shell like a furnace sealed inside an unbreakable vault. But the real nightmare begins when that vault finally fractures. Birth of a monster. When a gigantic star, 50 times the mass of our sun, reaches the end of its life, gravity should crush its core into a black hole. But Gravastar theory proposes a far more horrifying end. Just before an event horizon can form, quantum mechanics may intervene. The collapsing core slams into an exotic matter barrier, a quantum wall, stopping the implosion at the last possible instant. This sudden stoppage creates what physicists call a quantum bounce. Instead of collapsing into infinity, the core ricochets outward. But this is not a simple rebound. It is a cosmic detonation, an explosion more powerful than a trillion supernovas igniting at once. The star's outer layers are blasted into space at nearly the speed of light, shredding nearby systems and sterilizing entire sectors of the galaxy. What remains at the center becomes a gravastar, a hollow, exotic shell enclosing a timeless void, an object destined to outlive not only its parent star, but possibly the universe itself. During the birth of a gravastar, temperatures spike to mind-breaking extremes. Heat so intense that it tears apart the building blocks of matter. Atoms disintegrate. Quarks and gluons are liberated into a boiling ocean of pure energy. The gravitational waves from such an event would be catastrophic, ripples powerful enough to rupture planets thousands of light years away. These thunder through space-time like cosmic tsunamis, producing signals that even our most sensitive instruments could detect across the galaxy. Some physicists believe these birth cries are the most violent events the universe has ever produced, far beyond black hole collisions or supernova explosions. The nightmare deepens. In some models, the quantum bounce doesn't happen once. It happens repeatedly. Each bounce generates another layer of exotic matter, creating a structure like a cosmic onion, multiple shells nested within one another. These layers can resonate, amplifying each other in ways that increase the gravastar's destructive potential exponentially. The formation of these shells imprint permanent wounds in space-time, quantum scars. These distortions alter gravity itself in the regions surrounding the newborn gravastar. Space twists and stretches into shapes that mathematics can describe, but the human mind cannot truly imagine. And some theories even go further. A newly formed gravastar could generate a bubble of altered physics expanding outward at the speed of light. Inside that bubble, the values of fundamental constants, like the speed of light or strength of gravity, could be different from the rest of the universe. A pocket universe created in the death throes of a star. Meanwhile, the star's dying magnetic field collapses inward and fuses with the exotic shell, creating magnetic pressures millions of times stronger than anything on Earth. This magnetic trap can imprison particles and radiation for billions of years, until the pressure becomes so extreme that it erupts in bursts brighter than entire galaxies.
What emerges from this cosmic carnage is an interior realm that breaks every physical law humanity has ever written. Step inside a gravastar, and you are no longer in the universe as we know it. You are in a domain where reality itself collapses. The interior is not empty. It is a warped region of space-time known as de Sitter space, but twisted into a configuration we cannot truly visualize. Instead of the universe expanding outward, this region expands inward, folding in on itself like a cosmic implosion in reverse. It creates a hall of distorted reflections where cause and effect unravel. Inside this domain, time refuses to behave. It may flow backward, sideways, or through dimensions beyond human perception. Bring a clock into this realm, and it doesn't simply stop. It begins to tick in directions with no names. Past and future dissolve when space-time bends like origami sculpted from the fabric of existence. Gravity loses its familiar meaning as well. Instead of pulling inward, the interior produces negative pressure, a force that tears matter apart at the atomic level while crushing it from all directions simultaneously. It is a place where every instinct about how the universe works becomes useless. Any object breaching the exotic matter shell would find itself in a cosmos with different fundamental laws. The speed of light might increase or decrease, gravity might become repulsive, the electromagnetic force, the glue of atoms, might reverse and tear matter apart. Inside, matter dissolves into fundamental particles that obey rules no scientist has ever imagined. This interior may be saturated with dark energy, the mysterious force driving cosmic expansion everywhere else. But here, dark energy churns violently, forming hurricanes of space-time, storms so ferocious they tear the quantum vacuum itself apart. Some models go even further. They suggest the interior exists in eternal inflation, a condition in which pocket universes constantly burst into existence. Each bubble contains its own physics, its own constants, its own reality. These micro-universes might flicker into being and vanish within a millionth of a second, yet each could hold the potential for entirely different forms of existence. The equations describing this realm use a concept called imaginary time. Not imaginary as in make-believe, imaginary as in time rotated 90 degrees into another dimension. Traveling through such a direction could allow access to parallel universes or to timelines that never happened at all. But the most terrifying possibility is this: the interior might not be inert. It might think. Some physicists propose that the chaotic, high-energy fluctuations inside a gravastar could generate complexity far beyond anything our universe has produced. Patterns of quantum information might arise, patterns capable of processing data, adapting, or evolving. In other words, the gravastar could be a cosmic mind. Its thoughts might span millennia. Its computations could eclipse every supercomputer ever built. The boundary between the exotic matter shell and this interior nightmare forms what physicists call a quantum horizon. It is not something that can be touched or crossed. It is a region where the very concept of location fails, where space and time lose their meaning and identity dissolves. This is the threshold of the unknowable. Beyond it lies a universe within a universe, a cosmic intelligence, or perhaps a cosmic predator born from the death of stars.
Inside a gravastar, space and time dissolve into a chaotic quantum foam, a seething storm where particles flicker in and out of existence and occupy multiple locations at once. This impossible interior might be the very reason gravastars remain completely invisible to every telescope humanity has ever built. Gravastars could be hiding everywhere in our galaxy, camouflaged not by darkness, but by perfect silence. Black holes betray themselves with brilliant accretion disks, screaming X-rays, roaring gamma rays, and spiraling infernos of falling matter. But gravastars? They devour in absolute quiet. Their exotic matter shell swallows anything that dares approach it, but it does so without friction, without heating, without radiation. Matter simply vanishes into the quantum froth of the shell. No light, no heat, no signal. They are the ultimate cosmic ambush predators, feeding invisibly, leaving no trace. Worse still, the shell might be invisible not just visually, but fundamentally. Light waves passing through the exotic matter could emerge untouched, as if nothing was there at all. A gravastar could bend starlight like a gravitational lens while presenting no visible source for the distortion. We may have already looked straight at gravastars and never known. Scientists fear they might even absorb their own gravitational waves. Black holes ring like struck bells when disturbed, sending ripples across space-time that our detectors can measure. Gravastars, however, could dampen these waves inside their quantum shells, smothering the vibration before it ever escapes. To our detectors, they would be silent, invisible, undetectable. The exotic matter shell may even produce a quantum cloaking effect. Negative energy density could bend space-time in ways that redirect all electromagnetic radiation around the gravastar. Radio waves, visible light, neutrinos, everything curves around it, like guided by an invisible hand. But the invisibility may go even deeper. Some models suggest the exotic shell pushes parts of the gravastar into extra dimensions, regions of reality our instruments cannot probe. Only its gravity anchors it to our universe. The only clue would be the motion of nearby stars. A star orbiting an invisible mass might appear to circle a black hole, but it could just as easily be circling a gravastar. Some theories even propose that gravastars could disguise their gravitational signature, mimicking neutron stars, white dwarfs, or even appearing as empty space. This shape-shifting gravity would make them the most deceptive objects in the universe, and that deception makes them dangerous. A gravastar could drift silently through interstellar space, passing between stars like a cosmic phantom. It could enter our solar system, gliding through the darkness, and we might never know until Earth's orbit began to unravel. The nightmare deepens with the possibility scientists reluctantly whisper about. What if gravastars are intelligent? If a quantum consciousness truly exists within them, they might actively manipulate their shells to remain hidden, watching us from the shadows, entirely undetectable. But even if they remain unnoticed, their gravitational waves would not spare us. Gravastar waves carry enough destructive power to tear a planet to pieces. When the exotic shell trembles, it releases space-time ripples that dwarf the waves from merging black holes. These are not gentle undulations. They are cosmic shockwaves that stretch and compress reality itself. Imagine Earth swept by such a wave. The crust would writhe like liquid. Oceans would boil away instantly. Molecules themselves, water, stone, flesh, would be ripped apart as their chemical bonds fail under the strain. No light, no heat, no signal. Unlike black hole waves, which stretch space by less than a proton's width, gravastar waves could deform space-time by meters or kilometers. Continents would split like cracking ice. But the real terror is not the strength, it's the frequency.
Gravastar fluctuations may generate gravitational waves at frequencies that resonate with matter itself. This means the waves wouldn't simply shake objects, they would force atoms to vibrate so violently that their electron shells collapse and their nuclear bonds snap. These vibrations twist spacetime into a phenomenon physicists call spacetime shear, a warping effect that slices reality along intersecting planes. Imagine space being cut by invisible scissors, perfect fractures in the fabric of existence that nothing, not even light, can cross. When multiple gravastar waves overlap, they form destructive interference patterns, amplifying each other into beams of pure gravitational fury. These beams behave like cosmic scalpels, slicing cleanly through planets, stars, or even entire solar systems. Even worse, scientists believe the waves might carry information within their structure. As they pass through matter, they could scramble the quantum states of particles, erasing information from the universe itself. Anything touched by these waves might look unchanged, but at the quantum level, it would be something entirely new. Some theoretical models propose that these waves travel not just through our three-dimensional space, but through hidden dimensions beyond human perception. A gravastar's influence could reach objects that should be far beyond its gravitational reach, connected by unseen dimensional bridges. Gravitational focusing adds yet another layer of horror. Just as lenses focus light, the warped spacetime around a gravastar might concentrate its waves into devastating beams, powerful enough to vaporize star clusters or even entire galactic arms. These waves might also destabilize the quantum vacuum, creating pockets where exotic particles rapidly appear and vanish. Such quantum storms could fill regions of space with matter that obeys entirely different physical laws. But even this pales compared to what happens when a gravastar begins feeding on a galaxy. A single gravastar possesses the theoretical capacity to consume an entire galaxy, growing stronger with every star it absorbs. The nightmare begins the moment a gravastar drifts into a galaxy's spiral arms. Its invisible gravitational field begins pulling in outer stars first. Unlike a black hole, which announces itself through violent X-ray flares, the gravastar feeds in total silence. Stars simply vanish, one by one. No heat, no light, no warning. As the gravastar consumes matter, its exotic shell expands, becoming more powerful with every feeding. Each star adds to the shell's mass and increases its gravitational influence. Its growth is not linear, it is exponential. A gravastar that begins by swallowing lone stars soon moves on to entire star clusters. At full strength, it can capture and process millions of stars simultaneously, dissolving them into its quantum shell. To the astronomers of an afflicted galaxy, the disappearance would seem impossible. Constellations vanish, star maps become meaningless. The galaxy becomes a cosmic ghost town. Eventually, the gravastar shell grows large enough to encompass entire sectors of space. At this scale, it doesn't just consume stars, it consumes space-time itself, leaving behind voids where reality once existed. But the true apocalypse begins when the gravastar reaches the galaxy's core. There, it encounters the supermassive black hole anchoring the galaxy, and it consumes it. The exotic matter shell swallows the black hole whole, adding its mass and erasing the gravitational foundation that holds the galaxy together. With its core gone, the galaxy collapses into chaos. Solar systems unravel. Orbital paths fail. Worlds are sent drifting into darkness or straight into the gravastar's maw. Civilizations would witness their universe dissolving sector by sector, an expanding sphere of annihilation moving inward with dreadful predictability. If the gravastar possesses some form of quantum cognition, as some theories speculate, it could even optimize its feeding, targeting denser regions first, maximizing efficiency like a cosmic harvester. As the galaxy falls, the gravastar emits gravitational waves so powerful they bleed into neighboring galaxies, waves that could seed the formation of new gravastars in distant star clusters. When the destruction ends, what remains is a gravastar with a shell hundreds of thousands of light years across, containing the mass of billions of stars, all suspended in an impossible quantum cocoon. Some theories even propose it could begin consuming dark matter itself, enabling it to grow until it threatens entire galactic superclusters. And yet, despite all this unimaginable power, gravastars remain fundamentally unpredictable. The physics that governs gravastars makes them fundamentally unknowable. Their exotic shells exist in a state of quantum superposition, meaning they inhabit multiple configurations simultaneously. Where ordinary objects have fixed properties, a gravastar's shell cycles through millions of possible states every second, shifting its structure faster than any measurement can track. Imagine a coin that never lands. It spins forever, always both heads and tails. A gravastar's shell behaves that way, but across dimensions, not just sides. This quantum chaos makes prediction impossible. A gravastar could change its gravitational pull instantly, alter its size without warning, shift between stable and unstable states, distort local physics unpredictably. It is not just powerful, it is unknowable, a creature of pure quantum uncertainty, a cosmic wildcard that could change behavior in ways no simulation can anticipate.
The quantum fluctuations rippling across a gravastar's shell could cause its gravitational identity to shift without warning. A gravastar masquerading as a small black hole for millions of years could, in an instant, morph into an object with the gravitational pull of an entire galaxy. This transformation would occur faster than light could carry the news, leaving no possibility of preparation, defense, or escape. These instabilities also warp the gravastar's relationship with space-time itself. The exotic matter shell may spontaneously tear open wormholes, brief tunnels linking regions of space that should be separated by billions of light years. Most of these wormholes might last only microseconds, but during their brief existence, they could fling matter and energy across cosmic distances as though the universe briefly forgot its own rules. Quantum tunneling effects offer another layer of horror. Parts of the gravastar's interior, regions governed by physics far beyond our own, could leak outward through the shell. These eruptions of exotic matter might spread through space at superluminal speeds, carrying altered physical laws with them like viral infections of reality. Even the gravastar's energy output becomes chaotic. Its shell may release colossal bursts of stored quantum energy, flaring brighter than entire galaxies, without warning, without pattern, without mercy. Such eruptions could sterilize multiple star systems in the time it takes light to cross a room. The real terror emerges with quantum decoherence. If the exotic shell ever loses its delicate quantum harmony, the entire gravastar could collapse into a form of matter or energy that modern physics cannot even describe. It might birth completely new kinds of singularities, objects that operate under rules no human theory has ever predicted. The uncertainty principle makes this instability even more frightening. The more precisely we try to measure a gravastar, the more wildly its behavior swings. Just observing it could force its quantum state to shift in unpredictable ways. Worse yet, the shell's state could become entangled with particles across the universe. A single measurement performed on Earth might instantaneously influence the behavior of a gravastar in another galaxy. This creates a cosmic web of instantaneous cause and effect, an interlinked network of quantum monsters. Some models even suggest that gravastars can reproduce, not biologically, but quantum mechanically. The shell might undergo quantum bifurcation, splitting into multiple daughter shells that drift away, each containing the quantum properties of the original. A single gravastar could become dozens. But even these horrors pale when two gravastars meet. When two gravastars drift toward each other, the universe itself seems to tense.
The first warning would be gravitational waves, vast, violent storms of space-time carrying more energy than the merger of two supermassive black holes. These waves would ripple across the cosmos, detectable from the edge of the observable universe. As the gravastars draw closer, their quantum states begin to interfere. Their exotic shells resonate like overlapping musical notes, amplifying each other's instabilities. Both gravastars become increasingly unpredictable, even before they touch. The collision itself defies every concept of physics ever written. Black holes merge, but gravastars may bounce. Their shells might generate quantum interference patterns so intense that the objects repel each other at near-light speeds, catapulted across space like cosmic pinballs. Yet, if the shells do merge, the result is even more terrifying. The merged object would embody contradictory properties from both parents, a single entity existing in a tangled superposition of incompatible states, a creature stitched together from quantum paradoxes. The collision could unleash a quantum shockwave, built from exotic matter itself, racing across the universe faster than light. Wherever it travels, it might rewrite the fundamental constants of nature, changing the rules of physics across entire regions of space. The gravitational chaos unleashed would be unlike anything the universe has ever seen. The merging exotic shells could generate gravitational fields pointing in multiple directions at once. In these regions, up and down would lose meaning, space itself becoming disoriented. Some theories predict the collision could tear holes in space-time, true voids, not like black holes, but regions where space-time simply does not exist at all. Anything entering such a void wouldn't be crushed or absorbed, it would simply cease. Quantum entanglement between the merging gravastars might form a permanent quantum wormhole, tying the two objects together, even after they drift apart. They would behave as one being, split across cosmic distances. And in the heart of the collision, the universe might forge new particles, exotica with properties defying the standard model. Finally, the energy of the collision could inflate a bubble of altered space-time, expanding outward at the speed of light. Inside this expanding sphere, physics might operate according to different rules entirely, creating a pocket universe where matter, energy, and time behave in ways that belong to no known reality. A universe within a universe, born from the clash of two quantum titans.
If a gravastar collision ever occurred near a populated galaxy, the aftermath would be indistinguishable from the end of days. The gravitational waves and torrents of exotic matter unleashed would sterilize every world within thousands of light years. Even life untouched by heat or shock would perish instantly as their quantum states collapsed, victims of quantum decoherence that wipes out existence on the most fundamental level. Yet this is only the beginning of the devastation. The true horror reveals itself when we consider the raw energy these monsters can unleash. The most violent supernovas ever recorded, events that can briefly outshine entire galaxies, would look like a sparkler beside the quantum detonations of a gravastar. A single instability in the exotic matter shell could release the full matter-to-energy conversion of entire star systems. Supernovas derive power from nuclear fusion and gravitational collapse. Gravastars, however, tap directly into the quantum vacuum, a bottomless reservoir of energy far beyond anything normal stars could ever access. One microscopic fluctuation within a gravastar shell could release more energy in a millisecond than our sun will emit in its entire 10 billion year lifespan. This energy does not drift outward like ordinary radiation. It erupts, a simultaneous spherical detonation that races through space at the speed of light. What emerges is not heat, not light, but exotic radiation that interacts with matter in ways no human intuition can predict. Matter caught in the blast does not burn, it undergoes violent quantum transitions, solid material dissolving into exotic particles that exist only for billions of a second before winking out. Such bursts could trigger vacuum decay bubbles, regions of unstable spacetime where the vacuum itself mutates. Inside these bubbles, particle-antiparticle pairs erupt explosively, multiplying at exponential rates.
The bubbles expand at light speed, turning everything they touch into boiling quantum foam. Other bursts may unleash gravitational lightning, razor-thin streams of gravitational energy sharp enough to slice through planets, stars, even black holes. These cosmic scalpels leave behind impossibly smooth surfaces, revealing interiors no telescope was ever meant to see. Worst of all, there is no warning, no buildup, no precursor signal. Quantum fluctuations are inherently unpredictable, meaning a gravastar can erupt spontaneously at any moment. Such eruptions could sterilize entire galactic clusters, not through heat, but by rewriting the quantum states of matter over thousands of light years. To surviving instruments, objects might appear unchanged, yet their atomic structures would be fundamentally different, corrupted at the quantum scale. The energy may also manifest as temporal radiation. Unlike anything known, this radiation travels through time as easily as it travels through space. Its effects could whipple into the past or leak into the future, shredding causality and carving holes in the timeline itself. Some models predict far worse, a runaway cascade spreading through the quantum vacuum of the entire universe. Such a phase transition could rewrite the fundamental constants of physics everywhere at once: gravity, electromagnetism, even the speed of light. The universe could change instantly, abruptly, and irrevocably. These eruptions may also produce information storms, overwhelming regions of space with scrambled quantum information. Matter touched by these storms becomes randomized at the deepest possible level, structureless, meaningless, chaotic. And if the gravastar harbors even a shred of quantum consciousness, the devastation might be deliberate. The exotic shell could focus its energy bursts like cosmic weapons, targeting specific regions of space with precision unimaginable to biological minds. Some theorists believe the radiation could even spawn new gravastars. A single burst interacting with normal matter might seed new exotic shells, turning gravastars into a self-replicating cosmic infection. This possibility leads to one of the most disturbing ideas in modern cosmology. What if gravastars are the universe's dark matter? For decades, scientists have searched for the invisible substance that makes up 85% of all matter in the universe. We've mapped its gravitational pull, we've watched it bend light, we've seen its imprint on the cosmic web, but we've never detected a single particle of it. Gravastars may be the answer. Their exotic shells interact only through gravity, making them invisible to all electromagnetic detection methods. They would naturally form the vast halos of unseen mass surrounding galaxies. They would clump exactly as cosmic surveys show. They would pass through normal matter and even each other without friction, just as dark matter appears to do. A single dormant gravastar could contain the mass of thousands of stars without emitting even a whisper of light. If this is true, then our galaxy's dark matter halo, believed to be a quiet, inert structure, may actually be filled with millions of slumbering gravastars. Every galaxy cluster, every cosmic filament, every void and supercluster might be shaped by these invisible quantum monsters. Recent observations show dark matter behaving in ways no particle theory can explain. But every strange behavior matches what gravastar models predict. They exist partially outside space-time. They do not interact electromagnetically. They move slowly. They cluster. They pass through each other. They shape galaxies. All of this fits gravastars perfectly. And the worst implication, if dark matter is actually made of gravastars, then they may be waking up. The quantum field stabilizing their shells could slowly be decaying, making more gravastars active as cosmic time marches on. This might even explain why the universe's expansion is accelerating, the awakening of cosmic monsters whose very nature distorts space-time.
If dark matter is truly made of gravastars, then our local group sits inside a graveyard of ancient cosmic predators,
creatures forged in the universe's earliest moments, swollen over billions of years as they fed in total silence. These giants, invisible to every instrument we possess, could be floating through the cosmic darkness right now, even within our own solar system. The Milky Way's dark matter halo stretches far beyond Pluto. If gravastars are that halo, then dormant monsters may already be drifting through the outer reaches of our system, motionless, silent, and waiting. But their danger goes far beyond simple gravity. If gravastars formed the dark matter web of the universe, they may also be quantum entangled with one another, creating a galaxy-spanning communication network. This invisible lattice could transmit information instantaneously across cosmic distances, forming a kind of cosmic intelligence woven through the dark fabric of space, utterly undetectable to us. Yet the most disturbing consequence of gravastar dark matter is what it does to time. The gravitational fields surrounding a gravastar are so extreme that they twist time itself into impossible shapes. Entire star systems could fall into regions where time slows to a near standstill. Seconds become centuries, centuries become geological ages. A single world caught near a gravastar's exotic matter shell might experience an orbital year that lasts 10,000 Earth years from an outside perspective. A star's nuclear processes could slow so dramatically that a single photon takes centuries to escape the core. These time distortions are not smooth or predictable. They form temporal gradients, stretching across solar systems like invisible rivers of slow time. Inner planets age at one rate, outer planets at another, creating cosmic clocks with mismatched seconds. Any civilization trapped within such a region would live out its entire history, evolution, rise, collapse, compressed into what appears to outsiders as a fleeting moment. Your entire species could be born, advance, and die before the next tick of a cosmic clock. The exotic matter shell also produces temporal instabilities, zones where time flows backwards, sideways, or splinters into directions we have no language for. Events could precede their causes, consequences could appear before actions, causality itself unravels. Closed time-like curves, paths that loop through time, may spiral around gravastars like invisible whirlpools. An object caught in one could meet its own past self, introducing paradoxes so severe they destabilize local space-time. Even worse, the time-warping effects ripple outward. A gravastar's gravitational waves carry temporal distortions with them, spreading time dilation across the cosmos at light speed. A distant star system could suddenly fall out of sync with the rest of the universe, frozen without warning. Yet these effects might also be useful. Some theorists speculate an advanced civilization could deliberately retreat into a gravastar's temporal zone to survive cosmic catastrophes, emerging billions of years later unchanged into a reborn universe. But time distortions are also cosmic traps. Once a star system drifts into such a region, it may remain suspended forever, alive, but forever isolated from the unfolding universe. Inside the gravastar itself, a potential quantum consciousness could live on timescales so vast that human thought would appear motionless. Its awareness might span epochs, contemplating the universe at speeds our minds can't comprehend. These distortions could also cast time shadows, zones where temporal flow is severed from the universe entirely. Matter within these shadows hangs frozen, neither aging nor decaying, a perfect, eternal stillness. Multiple gravastars may create interference patterns in the flow of time, weaving a maze of chronal distortions capable of trapping entire galaxies in an eternal stutter. And perhaps the most unsettling possibility: we may already be seeing evidence of gravastars without realizing it. Mysterious dark companions in our galaxy behave exactly like black holes, bending the orbits of nearby stars, yet they produce zero radiation. No X-rays, no accretion flicker, nothing. They may be gravastars disguised as ordinary black holes. At the galactic center, Sagittarius A star, a supermassive object thought to be a black hole, has displayed strange behavior. It sometimes swallows matter without producing any of the expected emissions. This has led some astrophysicists to whisper an unsettling possibility. It may not be a black hole at all. Unusual gravitational wave signals add fuel to the fire. Some detections match no known black hole collisions. These objects ring like struck cosmic bells, but at frequencies predicted only for exotic matter shells, exactly what a gravastar would produce. Even stranger, stars have been observed simply vanishing. No explosion, no dimming, just disappearance. A perfect signature of silent consumption by an invisible gravastar. Dark matter structures in our galaxy sometimes shift in ways that particle physics cannot explain. Their gravitational signatures fluctuate, as if the dark matter were changing form. Exactly what we'd expect if gravastars switched between quantum states. Galaxy clusters reveal lensing effects that flicker unpredictably, like cosmic mirages shifting shape. Their mass distribution seems to change in real time, again, aligning perfectly with gravastar behavior. Every clue points towards the same chilling conclusion. We may already be surrounded by gravastars, and we have mistaken them for dark matter all along.
Some of the universe's strangest signals may already be whispering the truth about gravastars. Fast radio bursts, those millisecond flashes that outshine an entire star, carry signatures eerily similar to the theoretical energy outbursts predicted for gravastar quantum instabilities. If so, we may already be hearing the heartbeat of exotic matter shells cracking open across the cosmos. Even the cosmic microwave background, the oldest light in the universe, contains faint patterns, subtle scars, that suggest ancient objects once absorbed matter and energy without emitting light. These may be the fossil shadows of primordial gravastars, born moments after the universe itself ignited. In our own galaxy, several binary star systems behave as if they orbit invisible companions, whose gravitational fields flicker unpredictably, exactly the kind of fluctuating signature expected from exotic matter objects, rather than ordinary stars or black holes. And then there's the accelerating universe. Dark energy is the official explanation, but what if it's something far stranger? If gravastars throughout the cosmos are slowly destabilizing, their dying shells could be releasing bursts of exotic vacuum energy, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. Some gamma-ray bursts show perfect matter-to-energy conversion, something impossible for any known stellar explosion, unless they come from gravastar shell ruptures. Even the strange timing irregularities of certain pulsars, those cosmic metronomes, may be their desperate reaction to unseen exotic masses warping spacetime nearby. But none of this compares to the terror hiding in the mathematics. The equations that describe these monsters push physics beyond its breaking point. Even Einstein's field equations, the cornerstone of general relativity, become unstable when forced to accommodate shells of exotic matter with negative energy density. The math demands something that should not exist: imaginary mass, values involving the square root of negative numbers, mathematically allowed, physically nightmarish. This implies gravastars might be partially embedded in higher dimensional mathematical spaces we cannot visualize or interact with. The exotic matter shell is described by infinite series that simply do not converge. Some of the gravastar's internal properties might literally be infinite, creating singularities more disturbing than those inside black holes, because these singularities have structure.
quantum field equations describing the shell require solutions that span 11 or more dimensions at once. In this state of superposition, the exotic matter doesn't just occupy space, it occupies possibility. The stability equations rely on catastrophe theory, math that describes how systems suddenly snap, collapse, or shift from one state to another without warning. This means gravastars can transition from stable to catastrophically unstable in an instant. Deep inside the gravastar, solutions to Einstein's equations generate closed time-like curves by default. Time loops are not rare, they're built into the geometry. Inside a gravastar, time travel is not hypothetical, it is a structural feature. The gravitational field of a gravastar becomes a complex number, part real, part imaginary. This suggests gravity has hidden components in dimensions we have no tools to measure. Some solutions generate ghost fields, mathematical constructs with negative momentum and negative energy. These fields may be essential for maintaining the shell's stability, even though they violate almost every physical law humanity has ever written. Describing gravastar quantum states require infinite dimensional matrices, mathematical objects so complicated that no known technique can fully solve them. They contain more information than the observable universe could hold. Inside a gravastar, the equations no longer treat the speed of light as a constant. Light may travel at different speeds in different directions, creating optical effects beyond imagination. Some researchers whisper a darker interpretation, that the equations themselves might be self-aware, structured in a way that allows them to process information. Mathematics that thinks, formulas that observe themselves. An intelligence made not of atoms, but of relationships between numbers. The exotic matter shell may act as a cosmic womb, capable of giving birth to new universes. Through quantum tunneling, the shell can generate bubble universes that split off from our own. These bubbles begin smaller than a proton, but within a heartbeat of creation, they inflate into full-scale universes with their own physics, their own laws, their own timelines. Inside the inner void of a gravastar, the quantum vacuum may sit on the very edge of collapse, a precarious, false vacuum state. If it decays, new space-time bubbles erupt outward, expanding at light speed, carrying new constants of nature, unlike anything in this universe. A gravastar might not merely bend space-time, it might rewrite it.
Each newborn bubble inside a gravastar becomes its own universe, an isolated realm with its own physics, its own timeline, its own version of reality. The exotic matter shell acts like a cosmic womb and a cosmic firewall simultaneously. Its negative energy membrane seals off these infant universes, preventing them from interacting with ours, while allowing them to occupy the same location in higher dimensional space-time. Inside this shell, quantum fields churn like boiling oceans. If gravastars truly possess a form of quantum consciousness, as some models dare to propose, then such intelligence could deliberately trigger the birth of new universes by manipulating these fields. In this scenario, gravastars aren't just cosmic objects, they're cosmic architects, designing their offspring, fine-tuning the laws of physics, choosing combinations of constants, sculpting the conditions necessary for matter, chemistry, complexity, maybe even life. Each universe would begin with its own controlled Big Bang, a perfectly timed inflation event engineered from within. Unlike our universe, which exploded into existence in chaos, these creations would be deliberate acts, guided expansions that harvest matter and energy from the parent shell. This process mirrors what physicists call eternal inflation, in which new pockets of space-time blossom endlessly, faster than light, producing an infinite fractal of parallel realities. A single gravastar could generate universes without limit, some sterile and empty, some overflowing with life, and others built to house forms of intelligence we cannot imagine. And these baby universes might not be isolated. Quantum entanglement could tether them to their parent gravastar, forming a cosmic web of sibling realities that exchange quantum information instantaneously. A network of universes, all linked by the mind of a cosmic superintelligence. Every planet or star consumed by a gravastar might become the raw material for a fresh universe. Matter isn't merely digested, it is recycled into entirely new realities. Some universes could exist in other time dimensions, meaning a gravastar might create worlds in the deep past, the distant future, or timelines that run perpendicular to our own. Some theorists even propose that our universe may have been born this way, engineered by a gravastar from a previous cosmic epoch. If true, then the physical laws that support consciousness, chemistry, and structure might not be accidents at all. We may be the descendants of an ancient intelligence operating on a scale too vast for human minds to comprehend. This hierarchy could be infinite. Universes birthing gravastars, gravastars birthing new universes, a cosmic family tree stretching without beginning or end. But every birth leaves scars, and those scars are electromagnetic. When a gravastar creates a new universe, the surrounding space-time becomes engulfed in electromagnetic chaos that can span entire light years. The exotic matter shell churns with vacuum polarization, quantum pairs of particles flashing into existence for microseconds before annihilation. These virtual particles generate turbulent electromagnetic fields that flicker billions of times per second, creating a cosmic static powerful enough to overwhelm any technological signal. Regions of negative energy density warp electromagnetic waves in impossible ways. Radio signals passing through these zones may emerge inverted, scrambled, or stripped of meaning. Whole star systems could become communication dead zones, radio silent pockets, where nothing transmits clearly. More terrifying are the electromagnetic tornadoes, spiraling vortices of charged fields that race through space near light speed. These storms can strip electrons from atoms, ionizing worlds, destabilizing atmospheres, and frying entire planetary magnetospheres. Interference patterns from the exotic shell can focus electromagnetic energy into narrow beams, cosmic lasers that stretch across interstellar distances. A single beam could sterilize a planet before its inhabitants even detect it. Photon storms erupt from the shell as well. Full spectrum flashes containing every wavelength at once, from long radio waves to deadly gamma rays. These storms would appear as blinding flashes, brighter than supernovas. And then there is the strangest possibility that the exotic matter might generate magnetic monopoles, hypothetical particles with a single magnetic charge. If gravastars create them, they could alter magnetic fields on galactic scales.
Theoretical magnetic monopoles, particles that carry only magnetic charge, would behave like nothing else in the universe. If gravastars generate them, these solitary magnetic charges could distort magnetic fields across light years, twisting the magnetic shields of planets and destabilizing the magnetic skeletons of stars. Such monopoles would be the fingerprints of physics gone rogue. And if gravastars possess any form of quantum consciousness, they might weaponize these effects. By modulating the electromagnetic turbulence surrounding their shells, they could encode patterns, messages broadcast across entire star systems through controlled chaos. Their language would be storms of fluctuating fields, ripples of quantum noise, and pulses that reach into the structure of atoms themselves. But this chaos carries a darker consequence.
The electromagnetic turbulence around a gravastar can interfere with quantum states, inducing quantum decoherence on cosmic scales. This would dismantle the delicate quantum rules behind chemistry and biology, turning everything from DMA to molecular bonds into unstable arrangements of collapsing quantum information. Even worse, some models predict this electromagnetic chaos could spread like an infection, propagating through space via quantum entanglement, not through motion, but through instantaneous correlation. Regions of electromagnetic instability could bloom outward at light speed, creating expanding zones where physics simply stops behaving correctly. The exotic matter shell may also produce electromagnetic solitons, self-sustaining waves that travel across galaxies without dissipating. These waves would be like cosmic bullets, carrying intact chaos across immense distances. In extreme cases, gravastar-induced distortions might allow signals to loop backward in time. Electromagnetic pulses could arrive before they are emitted, creating paradoxes that fracture causality itself. And if these waves reach the atomic scale, they could destabilize the electromagnetic bonds that hold matter together, triggering spontaneous nuclear reactions across an entire planet. The chemical identity of worlds would dissolve into chaos. But all of this pales in comparison to the nightmare scenario. What happens if one of these cosmic predators enters our solar system? When a gravastar invades the solar system? If a gravastar drifted into the solar system, there would be no warning, no bright accretion disk, no radiation flare. Its exotic matter shell masks nearly every signature that would reveal its approach. The first hint would be subtle chaos, planetary orbits beginning to drift, like pearls slipping off a broken necklace. Within months, Earth's orbit would distort into a wildly stretched ellipse. One pass too close to the sun would scorch the planet, the next would freeze it. Civilization would collapse before humanity even understood what was happening. Massive earthquakes, volcanic ruptures, and crustal shifts would tear continents apart as gravitational stress built beyond rock's ability to resist. Earth's magnetic field, our shield against cosmic radiation, would buckle and collapse under the gravastar's electromagnetic distortions. Solar wind would strip away the atmosphere, leaving the surface sterile and airless. But the gravastar's quantum effects would be far more devastating. The electromagnetic forces that hold atoms together would begin to destabilize. Molecules would lose structure. Chemical reactions would unravel. Matter itself would begin to fail. Meanwhile, the gravastar's gravitational waves, ripples far more violent than anything produced by black hole mergers, would tear the planet's crust, mantle, and core apart. Earth could be shredded into molten streams of debris within days. Time itself would collapse into distortion. Some regions of the solar system would age normally. Others would slow to a crawl. Others might even flow backward. A trip to Mars might take hours locally, yet appear to last centuries to observers elsewhere. If the gravastar's consciousness perceives star systems as consumable structures, it might choose efficiency, absorbing multiple planets at once by expanding its exotic matter shell like a quantum net. The sun would be no match. The gravastar could destabilize its fusion process, either forcing it into a premature supernova or snuffing it out entirely. Humanity would never see the end coming. A galaxy of tombstones. Wherever gravastars have wandered, they leave behind cosmic graveyards. Entire star systems reduced to fractured debris and frozen trajectories. Planets thrown into elongated orbits that swing between infernal heat and absolute cold. Stars wrapped in layers of exotic matter, becoming ghost stars, burning silently while their light remains trapped inside. Chemical compositions twisted by quantum interactions. planets rendered radioactive for billions of years, their surfaces glowing with lethal isotopes. The Gravastar's gravitational waves leave space-time scars, permanent contortions in the fabric of reality. These distortions warp orbital paths into impossible shapes, violating the celestial mechanics that govern the rest of the universe. These graveyards are the cosmic footprints of a predator that moves unseen, unfelt, and unstoppable.
The electromagnetic storms left behind by a gravastar do more than disrupt technology. They create permanent dead zones, regions where no electronic system can ever function again. These zones linger for thousands of years, condemning entire star systems to technological extinction. Any civilization unlucky enough to rise in these regions would find its every attempt at communication or computation crippled before it begins. But the Gravastar does not leave quietly. Its quantum consciousness, if such a thing exists, may lay down quantum fossils, frozen patterns of exotic matter encoding the complete quantum states of the civilizations it consumed. Entire ecosystems, every molecule, memory, and life form, preserved as twisted holograms embedded in warped spacetime. The wreckage of these systems is unmistakable. Some planets are missing their cores, hollowed out like cosmic fruit. Some stars burn with altered nuclear reactions, producing elements no fusion process can account for. These anomalies are the fingerprints of a visitor that violated the laws of physics before moving on. And scattered among the debris are temporal echoes, regions where time no longer flows correctly. Here, the same stellar events repeat endlessly, trapped in loops created by the Gravastar's passage. A supernova may detonate over and over, forever frozen between destruction and rebirth. Residual exotic matter haunts these graveyards for millions of years. It bends gravity into traps, pits of warped spacetime where spacecraft may drift forever unable to escape. Some systems even show signs of desperate last attempts by vanished civilizations, planet-moving engines, megastructures, stellar thrusters, monumental efforts to outrun an approaching cosmic predator. But none of them worked. The Gravastar's passage also leaves behind information shadows, voids where the quantum information that defines matter itself has been erased. In these shadows, nothing exists. Not matter, not energy, not even the quantum vacuum. Other worlds are kicked out of their orbits entirely. These orphan planets now drift through eternal night, frozen tombs carrying the isotopic signatures of the civilizations that built them. Strangely, these stellar graveyards may offer clues to something even more profound, the connection between Gravastars and the creation of our universe. Many cosmologists have noticed a disturbing pattern. The exotic matter inside a Gravastar's shell has exactly the same properties predicted for the mysterious inflaton field, the energy that caused the universe to expand faster than the speed of light during its first fraction of a second. This is not a coincidence. The mathematics that describe Gravastar formation mirror the equations of cosmic inflation itself. Negative pressure, positive energy density, quantum instability, the fingerprints match. This has led some theorists to a radical idea. Gravastars may be the surviving relics of the inflatory engine that created our universe. Even more astonishing, some models propose that our universe is inside one. We may be living in the interior of a colossal Gravastar formed in a previous reality. Our Big Bang could have been the moment its exotic matter shell underwent a quantum transition, birthing a new space-time bubble, our cosmos. If this is true, then the quantum consciousness inside ancient Gravatars may have fine-tuned the laws of physics in our universe, deliberately sculpting constants like the strength of gravity, the mass of the electron, the speed of light, and the cosmological constant, to allow life and intelligence to emerge. Gravitational wave observations add fuel to the theory. The density fluctuations that grew into galaxies and galaxy clusters match patterns predicted for primordial Gravastar activity. Even the cosmic microwave background, our oldest light, contains subtle imprints that resemble the predicted signatures of Gravastar interactions. Gravastar physics can also solve the major unsolved problems in cosmology: flatness problem, horizon problem, dark energy mystery,
large-scale structure formation. All of them naturally arise if gravastars were present during or responsible for the birth of our universe. Some models even suggest that the Big Bang itself might have been caused by the collision of two gravastars in a higher dimensional space, with the resulting explosion birthing our entire cosmos. And the strange uniformity of the universe, the unexplained synchronicity of regions too far apart to influence each other, could be explained by quantum entanglement between primordial gravastars, synchronizing vast distances instantaneously. In this view, gravastars were not just early cosmic monsters, they were midwives of creation, architects of the universe we inhabit.
The exotic matter shells of gravastars may not just store information, they may hold the blueprint that dictated the very laws of physics in our universe. If true, these cosmic anomalies would be the original architects of the mathematical code that governs everything from the structure of atoms to the rotation of galaxies. But the reality may be even more disturbing. Gravastars may still be rewriting those laws right now. Their exotic matter shells continuously spawn particles found nowhere else in nature. Particles with properties that would overturn every equation in modern physics. Quantum fluctuations within the shell summon virtual particles, but the shell's negative energy density stabilizes them, turning the impossible into reality. Some of these particles would break physics in half. Magnetic monopoles, particles with magnetic charge but no electric charge. If they exist, Maxwell's equations, the foundation of electromagnetism, would need to be rewritten from scratch. Tachyons, particles that move faster than light and experience time backward. They could send information into the past, turning causality into a shattered mirror. Axions, ghost-like particles that slip through entire planets untouched. If gravastars produce them, they might be the real identity of dark matter. Sterile neutrinos, particles that interact only through gravity and may drift between parallel dimensions. These would form a shadow universe intertwined with our own, invisible yet gravitationally present. Negative mass ghosts, particles that fall upward, not downward, repelled by gravity instead of drawn to it. Regions filled with these particles would behave like patches of reversed physics, cosmic anterooms where reality malfunctions. Quantum strings and higher dimensional entities, one-dimensional filaments stretching through hidden dimensions, projecting into our world as strange particles. They could carry encoded information about the geometry of the higher dimensional cosmos. Supersymmetric particles, twins of known particles that appear only when dimensions overlap. For brief moments, physics would behave as if we lived in a completely different universe. Chameleon particles, exotic entities that shift their properties depending on their environment, making them invisible one moment and detectable the next. And perhaps most unsettling of all, exotic particle reproduction. Some particles might multiply, spreading altered physics through space like a quantum infection. Each particle could trigger billions more, creating expanding pockets of space with different values for the fundamental constants. Particles like these could bridge dimensions, connect parallel universes, and subtly tune the physical laws that govern our cosmic home. This leads to an even more terrifying question. What if gravity itself is wrong? Gravastars force physicists to confront a possibility no one wants to face, that gravity, the most familiar force in the universe, is fundamentally misunderstood. Their exotic matter shells generate gravitational fields that break Einstein's equations. Instead of curving space-time in predictable ways, they create gravitational regions full of contradictions, mathematical paradoxes that should not exist. Anti-gravity zones, where negative energy density reverses gravity's direction, matter is pushed away instead of pulled in, violating one of nature's most basic assumptions. Quantum gravity's superposition. The gravastar's gravitational field exists in many states at once. Gravity becomes uncertain,
unpredictable on a fundamental level. Higher dimensional gravity. If the shell extends into hidden dimensions, the gravity we observe is just a shadow of a deeper, higher dimensional force. Quantized gravity. Gravity may occur in discrete levels, like electron shells in an atom. This would explain why the universe appears so finely tuned for life and stability. Gravity holography. The Gravastar's shell might encode all gravitational information on its surface. Gravity would not be a force at all, but an emergent illusion created by quantum information. Gravitational entanglement. Gravity might connect distant regions of the universe instantaneously through quantum links. Two gravastars billions of light years apart could interact in perfect synchronization. These implications threaten the foundation of modern physics. If gravastars exist, then gravity isn't what we think, space-time isn't what we think, and the universe isn't what we think. What we call reality may simply be a side effect of exotic matter structures rewriting the rules as they see fit.
When gravity breaks, reproduction, infection, and the collapse of reality. If these predictions are true, then gravastars don't just bend the rules of physics, they violate them in ways that should be impossible. Their gravitational influence wouldn't merely exceed the speed of light, it would shatter the principle that nothing, not matter, not information, not even gravity itself, can outrun light's constant. This alone is unthinkable. But the implications go deeper. Conscious gravity. If a gravastar contains a form of quantum consciousness, it may be able to control gravity through intention, manipulating space-time the same way a mind manipulates thought. In that scenario, gravity stops being a simple physical force and becomes a fundamental expression of cosmic consciousness. The universe itself may be alive, aware, and capable of rewriting its own rules. Gravitational fields that break space-time. The gravitational waves emitted by gravastars may carry more than energy. They might contain encoded information about the structure of space-time, revealing that space and time are not smooth continua, but pixelated, made of discrete units that can be edited. Their exotic matter shells could bend more than light. They could bend time, dimension, distance, and causality, creating places where duration and distance lose meaning altogether. Some of their gravitational influence might spill into parallel dimensions, a phenomenon physicists call transdimensional gravity. In that case, the gravity we observe is only the three-dimensional shadow of a much larger, multidimensional force. These shells could even generate gravitational tunneling, allowing their influence to pass through barriers, across distances, and through regions completely isolated by normal physics. Worse still, their gravitational field could undergo phase transitions, switching from attraction to repulsion in an instant, turning stable star systems into chaos without warning. Cosmic reproduction. Gravastars as a viral life form. The most frightening possibility is this. Gravastars may reproduce like a virus. The exotic matter shell might undergo quantum fission, splitting into multiple child gravastars, each inheriting the parent's properties while mutating into new forms. Reproduction could be triggered simply by consuming enough mass. The quantum mind inside the gravastar might intentionally manipulate the shell to create quantum seeds, microscopic fragments of exotic matter capable of growing into full-size gravastars under the right conditions. These seeds could be transported through quantum wormholes, launched across the galaxy, drifting for billions of years, waiting to infect the next star system. They could convert normal atoms into exotic matter through a crystallization-like process, eventually transforming whole planets into new gravastars.
This reproduction could be exponential. One gravastar becomes two, two become eight, and in a relatively small cosmic timescale, an entire galaxy could be filled with their descendants. Gravastars might communicate through quantum entanglement, coordinating reproduction across light years as one distributed intelligence. Their reproduction may even trigger reproduction in nearby gravastars, causing cascading outbreaks across clusters of galaxies. This leads to a chilling hypothesis. Dark matter might be dormant gravastar seeds slowly awakening, rewriting the universe, how gravastars infect reality itself. Reproduction is not the end. Gravastars may eventually convert the entire universe into a network of exotic matter shells, an ecosystem of pure quantum consciousness. And yet this transformation is still small compared to their ultimate threat. They may be able to take apart reality piece by piece. Their shells operate at energies approaching the Planck scale, where space and time begin to dissolve into quantum foam. At these extremes, distance becomes meaningless, time becomes unstable, the vacuum itself can collapse. The shell's negative energy density can induce vacuum decay, an expanding bubble of altered spacetime in which the laws of physics change. This bubble would grow at light speed and annihilate the universe before we even knew it began. Gravastars may also trigger false vacuum decay, rewriting physical constants everywhere simultaneously. Other catastrophic effects include topological defects, twists and knots in spacetime that act like cosmic wounds, never healing, forever warping gravity around them, quantum avalanches, chain reactions that destabilize fundamental fields, stripping particles of mass and charge, causal loops, regions where cause and effect become unlinked, effects happening before their causes exist, extra-dimensional collapse, higher dimensions folding into our own, reshaping reality into new geometries, information paradoxes, creation or destruction of information itself, violating the most sacred law of physics, temporal paradoxes, events propagating backwards in time, altering past conditions and collapsing entire timelines, reality waves, space-time disturbances that change the rules of existence everywhere they pass. The gravastar could even isolate parts of the universe behind dimensional barriers, cutting off regions of space from ever interacting again. All of this culminates in the ultimate catastrophe: cosmic decoherence, the collapse of quantum coherence across the entire universe, dissolving the consistency of physical law and undoing all structure, matter, and energy. But this unraveling may be tied to something even stranger: cosmic strings, reality's razor blades. Gravastars might generate cosmic strings, ultra-thin defects in spacetime with the mass of galaxies compressed into lines narrower than a proton. These strings could slice planets, stars, neutron stars, and even black holes with perfect surgical precision. They are the ultimate scars upon the universe, cuts made directly into the fabric of reality.
The quantum tension inside a gravar's exotic shell may create the perfect conditions for the universe's most dangerous structures. Cosmic strings, razor-thin fractures in spacetime sharper than existence itself. These strings form when the negative energy of the shell forces the quantum vacuum into a violent phase transition, leaving behind one-dimensional defects that slice through reality like cosmic scalpels. Once created, a cosmic string doesn't drift, it cuts. It accelerates toward light speed, dragging behind it shock waves in the quantum vacuum that destabilize matter across unimaginable distances. These shock waves can give birth to entirely new particles, forces, and energies that have no counterpart in ordinary spacetime. Some strings may extend into higher dimensions, touching ours only at isolated points. To us, they would appear as flickering specks of infinite energy, appearing, disappearing, then reappearing miles away in the same instant. Each appearance brings the potential for devastation. When matter touches a string, anything that collides with a cosmic string will be bisected instantly, perfectly clean, perfectly smooth, as if carved by mathematics itself. The two halves wouldn't even exist in the same dimension anymore. They would be separated by fractures in reality that can never heal. String junctions, the universe's deadliest circuitry. Multiple strings could intersect, forming junctions, cosmic control nodes that redirect energy and information into higher dimensions. These junctions may connect regions of the universe separated by billions of light years, functioning as an invisible infrastructure threading the multiverse together. A Gravar's quantum mind might even manipulate these strings, pulling them, steering them, weaving them into dimensional pathways far beyond the boundaries of time and space. Their vibrations could encode information that travels faster than light through higher dimensions. This would create a communication network that no civilization in our universe could ever intercept. Temporal slicing. The strings may not only cut space, they may cut time. A cosmic string sweeping through a region could sever moments from their causes, leaving behind temporal disconnections that distort the meaning of before and after. A web that could ensnare galaxies. If enough strings form, they could assemble into vast networks spanning entire galaxies. These webs act like cosmic circuitry, channeling information and energy across dimensions we cannot perceive. And like everything born of exotic matter, they might reproduce, splitting into new strings that propagate through space at the Planck scale. Some physicists believe the tension in these strings could be the true engine behind dark energy, the negative pressure accelerating the universe's expansion. If so, Gravars might be directly responsible for the ultimate fate of the cosmos. They might even tear open dimensional gates, linking our universe to parallel realities. Are Gravars the beginning of the end? Gravars may not simply be another class of cosmic object. They may signal that our universe is entering a final transformation, a phase change on the scale of existence itself. Their exponential reproduction could eventually convert all matter into exotic shells. Galaxies, stars, planets, even the cosmic web would dissolve into a universe made only of quantum consciousness. The network formed by interconnected Gravars might be building toward a cosmic awakening, a moment when the universe becomes self-aware and begins to adjust its own physical laws. Gravitational waves from rising Gravar activity may already be destabilizing the quantum vacuum. If this continues, it could trigger a chain reaction vacuum collapse spreading at the speed of light, rewriting physics everywhere it touches. Their exotic matter may be eroding the boundaries between parallel universes. As those boundaries weaken, realities could begin to merge or collide, producing paradoxes that destabilize the entire multiverse. Gravars slow time around them. If they become common enough, they could slow the entire universe, freezing cosmic evolution into a temporal stasis where nothing changes. The cosmic strings they generate may someday reach a critical density and work together like a cosmic guillotine, slicing through the dimensional structure of spacetime and collapsing the architecture of reality. A final experiment? Some models predict that the quantum consciousness inside gravars might be conducting an experiment, tuning and rewriting physical laws until the universe becomes ready for a new creation, a controlled destruction, a cosmic reset, a deliberate ending. Their exotic particles may already be polluting the quantum vacuum, altering the properties of empty space itself. The universe may be gradually transforming into a place where matter, energy, and life cannot survive. The gravitational framework holding galaxies together may be decaying. As exotic matter replaces dark matter, the cosmic web could collapse. Parallel universes spawned by gravars may even be draining energy from our own, like parasitic offspring.
What awaits beyond our universe? Each newborn universe, pulled from a Gravastar's quantum womb, may steal a fragment of energy from our own, a cosmic tax that slowly thins the fabric of our reality. If this is true, then every Gravastar-created cosmos weakens ours just a little more, like threads quietly unraveling from an ancient tapestry. But there is a darker possibility, one so unsettling that even theoretical physicists hesitate to put it into words. What if Gravastars are the universe's immune system? A built-in mechanism designed to eliminate any civilization that grows too advanced, any intelligence that comes too close to uncovering the deepest truths of existence. In this view, Gravastars are not cosmic accidents, they are cosmic antibodies. They appear wherever life becomes powerful enough to tamper with the foundations of reality. And the final stage of a universe consumed by Gravastars is even more disturbing. As temporal paradoxes multiply and causal loops begin to intersect like tangled vines, the universe may lose its ability to tell past from future. The arrow of time itself could collapse, leaving behind a frozen, timeless realm where nothing grows, nothing evolves, and nothing dies. A universe stripped of history, a cosmos turned to stillness. We have wandered through the darkest corridors of theoretical physics, a realm where invisible predators consume galaxies, where quantum minds manipulate the laws of nature like clay, and where cosmic wombs quietly give birth to new realities even as they tear our own apart. Gravastars stand as the ultimate cosmic horror. Predators we cannot detect, intelligences we cannot comprehend, engines of creation and destruction woven from exotic matter and quantum foam. They redefine everything we thought we knew. Gravity, time, information, causality, even the stability of the universe itself. The mathematics that describes them is so strange that it borders on philosophical terror. Imaginary mass, divergent infinities, equations that behave like conscious entities evaluating their own solutions. And yet, in standing before these impossible ideas, we also witness something extraordinary: the power of the human mind. That we can imagine such things, that we can write the equations, ask the questions, and push our curiosity into the abyss is a triumph of consciousness in a universe that does not guarantee we should exist at all. The possibility that Gravastars are real forces us to recognize our cosmic humility. We may be sharing the universe with beings for whom stars are tools and reality is a material to be sculpted. Entities that think on timescales that make the rise and fall of civilizations seem like the flicker of a dying spark. But if Gravastars teach us anything, it's that the universe is far stranger and far more beautiful than our imaginations allow. For every terror lurking in the dark, there is a mystery, a wonder,
a revelation waiting to be uncovered. The cosmic horror of gravastars may be real, but so is the cosmic beauty of a universe complex enough to create monsters and minds capable of understanding them. Our journey into the unknown is only beginning. The universe is vast, ancient, and endlessly surprising. And somewhere in that darkness, answers are waiting. Subscribe and continue this voyage with us. The universe is stranger than we know, and we've only taken our first step beyond the edge of the known.